Young Thug, Travis Scott, J. Cole, T minus, The London. Let's go. Alright, so to create these bubbly dream keys, as I call them, all I did was put together a citrus synth and a harmor synth. For citrus, I just used a preset that comes with it called Glass. I turned this slider down under operator 1, and then I went over to my envelope, my volume envelope, and just gave it a bit of a ramp at the attack so that it doesn't just, sharply slam into the note. Brought it down an octave and turned off the effects. Nice and dreamy. For harmor, I used a preset called Rachel, and I just turned off the reverb and the delay and brought it down an octave as well. Then I put the two together in the same mixer track. I used channel 15 here. And you can see I'm going to throw up the numbers on the screen. I just used a steep 8 ordered EQ on both ends and created a little region where they work well together. Alright, so the piano in this is really interesting. It's got a really nice clean sound. All I really did was use the regular grand piano and FL keys and put the same kind of EQ I used on the last channel but with a different region, and you'll see that the two EQs actually, you see the frequency regions, they overlap a little bit, but they complement each other really well. So instead of having like muddy lows of the piano, you have the dream keys, the bubbly keys. Okay, so the interesting flute that seems a little bit delayed when you listen to the whole beat. Really simple. I used the num synth from Citrus with the effects knob turned off, and the pan flute with the effects knobs turned off. All you gotta do is right click them to turn them on and off. Just turn them all off, layer the two together in the same channel, and then use a reverb with a decay of 0.6 seconds, by the way, and just turn the wet all the way up and the dry and early reflections down. That's how I achieved the same sound. And here's my frequency region once again. And that's how I got my flute sound. It's the pan flute by itself. And that's the num, which just kind of adds a bit of that fluty fizzle texture to the sound. Later on in the song, there's also the flute again on a lower octave. It's the exact same notes, just literally pitched down one octave. Sounds a little more sad and melancholy. Really unique pattern there. So all I did was use the Harmer's Fado Fate preset, and what I hate about it is that the volume always starts with a high up jab, same with a pitch to sort of create a fake little plosive kick that I absolutely despise. And you can also see there's a pitch tail that kind of twangs off. Super annoying, makes the pitch go off by like 300 cents from the actual note you're playing. Hate it, terrible for my OCD. Just bring it back to 0 cents. Get a clean 808. Next, I added a little bit of distortion, type A from Fruity Fast Distortion. These are my parameters here. You can copy them. And a bit of EQ. This is my frequency range will always be on the screen. Without the EQ, without the distortion, everything together comes pretty close to the real thing. Then I just used a simple bump kick, which I got in a free sample pack. Just gives it that little punch that you want at the beginning of an 808. Alright, the drums. Super simple, just a 808 closed hat, pitched slightly down with the tail trimmed. And an 808 clap, also pitched slightly down with the tail trimmed. I also EQ'd out some of the lows on the clap. You can just use a high pass filter. Alright, the distorted kicks. So I just used the 707 kick that comes with FL Studio and the same bump kick that I mentioned for the 808s. This time pitched down a little bit, and they're just together in a mixer channel. And I'll include the bump kick sample in my little zip pack in the description. It's got fruity fast distortion A-type with the parameters you see and an EQ right here. I'll put the range on the screen right now. Here it is without the EQ. Yikes. Alright, now for the perk. Weird little sound. To create it, all I did was use this 808 conga, trimmed the tail off as much as I could, pitched it up substantially, put it in a mixer channel, slammed an A-type fruity fast dist, but you'll see in the channel rack it's turned down probably like 75%, and then this EQ to just tame the highs a little bit. And yeah, that's how I made the perk. Here it is with the drums and the bass. Just a subtle little touch. Alright, so that weird arpeggiated synth, the metallic twang thing that you hear, it goes like this. Really simple, same three notes, ascending, descending, ascending, they're on the screen. I used the organ preset on Citrus, together with this little 3OS oscillator, where I just used a single sine with the envelope you just saw. Just sounds like a little operator synth. Same three notes together. Put them on the same mixer channel with a little delay. Makes it sound more tinny. And then an automated EQ, you see the path here, it kind of works as an open-close filter. See that right here. Kind of a flanger-esque effect. And then an EQ that just brightens it up and raises the highs. And that's it. Alright, so there's this weird sound that happens near the end of this song. I think in the real song it's just somebody humming, because the first half sounds super melodic and similar to the flute, but just lower notes. But the second part just sounds partially off and weird. But I guess they just left it in. The way I recreated it was using the SimSynth, started with Sine Sweepy. You just saw the parameters on the screen that I used. If you want to recreate it, and here it is. This gets weird. Weird little melody. I like the first part. The second part just sounds kind of iffy. I also have these slide notes. It's all just slides between different notes, but I use slide notes at the end to just fade to quiet. Alright, and here's the ambient bass you hear at the end of this song. I don't know if I got the notes right because there's a lot of vocal stuff going on, but here's the sound. Super simple. And it ends with another one of those slide notes to nothing, so it doesn't just abruptly end. Again, I'm not sure if I got the notes 100% right. I can't actually show you how I made the sound because it starts with a preset from a really early version of Citrus, so I'll just include it in the zip in the description. And that does it for this video. Here's the whole thing. Enjoy.